Hi, my name is Ashish, and in this video we will see data loss prevention overview in Microsoft Purview. Microsoft Purview includes data loss prevention or DLP capabilities to help prevent accidental and intentional data loss for the sensitive information. Sensitive information, as we have discussed, can include financial data or personal information, either credit card, social security numbers, or health records. With a DLP policy or data loss prevention policy, we can identify, monitor, and automatically protect sensitive information across Microsoft 365. Now, I'll give you a use case where it will be beneficial for you. Suppose you are an administrator for the organization who is responsible for information protection, including preventing the data loss. Okay, inadvertent, or it can be manual, whatever. Okay, now the objectives for you would be that you should be able to discuss the data loss prevention solutions and benefits. You should describe the data loss prevention configuration process. You should explain what users will experience when the solution is implemented. Okay. So every business or every company, they comply to the business standard and industry regulations. Okay. Now it is critical for us or for the organization to protect sensitive information. Okay. Sensitive information can include financial data, health record, credit card numbers, as we discussed earlier. Now we use DLP policies to identify, monitor, and automatically protect sensitive information. Microsoft Purview DLP or data loss prevention help prevent users from accidentally rather than intentionally sharing sensitive content. Okay. Now what does DLP policy do? DLP policies can identify sensitive information across locations that we have discussed or that I mentioned here: Exchange, SharePoint, OneDrive, Teams chat, devices, etc. Okay. Now DLP policies can also educate users on staying compliant without interrupting their workflow. DLP policies can produce DLP alerts and reports showing content that matches the organization DLP policies. Now, each DLP policy contains few elements where to protect the content. So if you see the screen, this is where the content is protected in locations like SharePoint Online, Exchange Online, OneDrive for business accounts, Microsoft Teams chat and channel messages, endpoint devices, Microsoft Defender for cloud apps, on-premise repositories, and Power BI, which is still in preview. Okay. Now the second point is when and how to protect the content, and which is defined by enforcing rules. Now when we create a policy, it would contain one or more rules, and each rule consists of conditions and actions at a minimum. Okay, for each rule, when the conditions are met, the actions are taken automatically. So there are conditions and then there are actions. Conditions are circumstances under which a rule is enforced. Okay, for example, a condition might be configured to look only for content containing credit card information that has been shared with people outside the organization. And that we can alter conditions as well. Actions would be like what happens when content matching the conditions is identified. I recognize that this personal information has been shared. Okay. And as an admin, we don't want a new DLP policy to unintentionally block access to thousands of documents that users are required to access. DLP policies should be rolled out gradually to assess their impact and test their effectiveness. Now basically we follow the 3-step process. So the 3-step processes then start in the test mode. Okay, now you have to start in the test mode. Okay, so we will start in the test mode. Now what will this do when I start in the test mode? We have to use the DLP reports and incident reports to assess the impact of the policy. So we'll start in test mode without policy tips. Okay, then we'll, as an admin, we can use DLP reports to view the number, locations, type and severity of policy matches. Based on the results, we can fine tune the rules as needed. Okay, then second is move to test mode with notifications and policy tips. Okay, notifications. So we'll just notify. The crux is to notify. How does that work? Adding notification and policy tips gives you the opportunity to educate users about the compliance policies and prepare them for the rules that are going to be applied. Now at this stage, we can also ask users to report false positive so that we can refine the rules. Third is start full enforcement. Okay, what does that do? Now we will expand the scope to include or exclude what you want included in the policy to a broader reach. The actions and the rules are applied and the content is protected once the full enforcement is in place. Now we'll continue to monitor the DLP reports and any incident reports or notifications. So that is where the plan, like what actually a DLP policy is and how do you implement it in the live environment. Okay, or when you have a large set of users that you don't want to impact at one go. Okay, and the main thing while you're doing is you have to identify the content that you need to protect. From where the data classification solution is a great place to start understanding, which we have discussed in our previous videos, like what sensitive information might need to be protected. So if I remove it, so here you want is like what is the sensitive information that you need to protect in here, right? So identify the content to protect first of all. Now what will help here is the content explorer. Here it identifies the emails and documents in the organization that contain sensitive information. The image shows a list of all the sensitive information content explorer identified in the SharePoint. So if I log on to the portal, okay, I'm logged on to the portal. This is the content explorer. Now it shows a list of the sensitive information. So if you see trainable classifiers, sensitive info types, okay, and if you see the locations, revenue number, New Zealand IP addresses, you click here and it shows you the locations as well. Like, so the data classification overview and content explorer tab will give you the visibility into what content has been discovered. So if I go take you to the data classification, so if you click on overview, this is lab, so we'll have limited data, but you will get the gist of it, what I'm trying to say. Again, you go to and you click here. Okay, when you will click on it, you must be a member of the following rule groups, content explorer list viewer. So that is a different case, but then view the source of each item. So my user account does not have these rights, but then it would have shown you what I'm talking about. Okay, and it will give you what content has been discovered and labeled and where the content is. Activity Explorer, on the other hand, rounds out this suite of functionality by allowing you to monitor what's being done with your labeled content. Activity Explorer provides a historical view of activities on your labeled content. The activity information is collected from the Microsoft 365 Unified Audit Logs. I don't have data because this is not the live environment, but within the data classification, if you will click on it, you will go to Overview and you will have the Content Explorer, Activity Explorer, tabs like this, and you will see the amount of data that it brings up. Okay. So I hope this video was informative for all of you guys. If you want to discuss more about data loss prevention or Microsoft Purview, please mention your questions in the comment section and I'll be glad to make videos on that or discuss with you. Have a good day. I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you.